sleep. The good thing to do is get your earbuds and listen to me. That's your buddy Shane, drive you insane, have a good time. What do you do on your podcast? Heavy metal news, talk about the heavy metal news. Oh yeah. It's a good time if you like good times. If you don't, then you don't. Then go away. Just go away. Don't go mad. Go away happy. It's time to stop. We're gonna go now. So let's do it right now. They can't all be winners, guys. Okay, I'm just telling you that right now. They can't all be winners. You want them to all be winners, but they can't all be winners. Let me turn off my musical instruments there. Welcome, one and all, back to another episode. What is it, 138 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. As we mentioned many times, I welcome you to the podcast. Each and every week, we talk about the hard rock and the heavy metal news. You get in the comments, and at the end of every episode, we read your thoughts and opinions. Now, we have implemented a new rule, and it's called no requests. This is the Jive Talkin comment section is only for your thoughts and opinions because I care about what you think about. I care about what's going on in your mind and what your thoughts and opinions are on the podcast, things we can do better, things we could do worse, the stories that we do, your thoughts on the stories, and any old thing that you want to put in the comments, quite frankly. As long as it's not rude and some rude son of a bitch down there saying something mean to me, you can say whatever's on your mind, whatever is down in your heart. You can put that in there. But this is a no request zone. Of course, we do have one fella, and I did want to let him know that I've already got your request. So you must have put that same copy and paste comment in a few locations, but I've already got it. 99 problems, but a fish ain't one. I think that's the guy's handle that he goes by. But welcome everybody to another fine episode of Jive Talkin. If you say, man, I really like these things that he does, this podcast that he does, I really like it. When do they come out? They come out every single week. If I'm not too busy, I think I've only missed one so far. But we got stories here. We got Sharon Osbourne. We got Chris Jericho. We got Dizzy Reed. We're going to watch GWAR do a little bit of that Ken. Did you go see that Barbie movie? And GWAR is going to do a bit of a version of I'm Just Ken there. And we got your comments and everything. So let's get into it. Apparently, Brittany Spears. Do you know her? She was a pop diva in the 2000s. Was it more like the 2000s? She did that song. Oh, baby, baby. How was I supposed to know? She's lunged her, she's attacked her, verbally shot out at the Ozzy Osbourne family because they got their podcast, The Osbournes, and they just get in there and they just really say all sorts of things on that thing. But I guess the family was going off on Brittany Spears' kind of dances that she does. I mean, look at that picture of her right there. She does look like she's like, there's no bodies hidden anywhere in my yard at all. But I guess they was making fun of her dance videos. And Brittany Spears did the right thing. She says, fuck off. Why do you got to be so goddamn judgmental? Why does everybody have to be so fucking judgmental? Why don't you take care of your own goddamn business? How about that? How about you get out of everybody else's business and looking over there at what they're doing and leave that up to me? Brittany Spears tells Ozzy Osbourne and his family to kindly, and she said it kindly, fuck off, after criticism of her dancing videos. And I don't think Ozzy should be making any kind of criticisms, but I think it's going to be either Sharon or Kelly that's going to be bad-mouthing her. Let's find out. Brittany Spears has called the Osbournes the most boring family known to mankind. They didn't used to be. After Ozzy and Sharon and their kids criticized the pop singer's social media videos. The problem with that, and I will say this, is when you put stuff on the internet, you're opening the doors for people to ridicule. So, if you like doing dance videos, just don't hit record set the phone up, do everything, but just don't hit record, because people are going to talk about, oh, she don't have it, does she? Boy, she could really dance her tushy off there back in the 2000s, but man, she's really went. So leave it alone. It says, on the latest episode of the Osbournes podcast, the Black Sabbath frontman and his family described clips of Spears dancing as very sad. And I could see Sharon say, it's very, very sad what she's doing over there in a luxury mansion. The Osbournes family spent some of the time on the episode by answering listener questions. This might get them off the hook a little bit. The first question was directed to Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon's daughter, Kelly. And they sang that song together, asking whether or not she would ever post TikTok dances, asking Kelly if she'd do it.
Oh, I don't know how to do TikTok dances, Mummy. Oh, you don't know how to do them. Oh, you'd be very, very good at them, Kelly. You'd be very, very good. I don't know where anybody would ever think that I would, she says.
Sharon stated,
it seems to me that TikTok, when it first started, were people doing silly dances. But now it's developed into so much more.
And Jack added,
you're just saying that because you're the biggest TikTok junkie. Mumsy, you're a TikTok junkie. And you're trying to be like, but there's more to it than that.
And you're trying to be like or liked? Jack, please reply in these comments. Let me know if you meant what you meant.
There is, Sharon replied. I'm fed up of seeing poor old Brittany Spears on YouTube.
Ozzy said, oh, it was Ozzy? Oh, I'm fed up of seeing poor old Brittany Spears on YouTube. Ozzy said before Sharon clarified he was discussing her
dancing. Ozzy, you mean her dancing. You don't want her, you still like to look at her, her bosoms and whatnot, Ozzy, but you're talking about her dancing.
It's very fucking every fucking day. It's sad, very sad. Oh, say Brittany, Jack commented, apparently referencing Spears' former conservatorship Kelly offered.
I know. I feel so sorry for her. Don't you, Mumsy? I do. Ozzy?
So, Jack's going to... So they're making a swipe at the conservatorship that she was on, and people was taking care of her money, and then she does kind of stuff where she was doing a dance with knives and stuff, and then you think to yourself, maybe she should get back on that.
Oh, poor little thing, Sharon says, with Jack quickly adding, very sad indeed, Mumsy. It's heartbreaking, really, Jack, isn't it? To see poor Brittany Spears on TikTok doing the dances. It's very heartbreaking.
On Wednesday, July 17th, Spears addressed the Osbournes. Boom, boom, boom. Comment in a lengthy Instagram post. She wrote, I'm going to tell the Osbourne family, who is the most boring family known to mankind, to kindly fuck off. Spears has been mostly inactive in the entertainment world since the end of her controversial 13-year involuntary conservatorship in 2021. In her tell-all memoir, Spears reveals how she quietly rebelled against the conservatorship through which her father controlled her life for nearly 14 years. One form of rebellion took place on social media, with Spears letting people know that she was still a real person by sharing more of my life on social media. Now, people forget about that, don't they? I mean, I really want to click that Instagram thing there, but it's just going to goof everything up. Let's go. Good news. You're saying, oh, where's more Sharon Osbourne? Doesn't she look like all you need to do is paint her gray and she's a freaking alien? Isn't she? Or is she? Is that rude? The problem is gravity, man. You get that plastic surgery done, and it doesn't look good the day after you take the bandages off. But then gravity hits, and then you start to get older and you lose weight, and then the only parts that are kind of still aroused are the parts that you had done. But Sharon's got a few things to say about old Bruce Dickinson. I think we've dabbled in this a little bit. And, you know, to be fair, you got to say things on your podcast or whatever that are striking so it gets in the newspapers and stuff, you know. It needs to break out. So the Osbournes are doing it. Basically what they're doing is they're doing marketing. And they're saying what we got to do is we can't just talk about what we had for dinner on this podcast. We have to lunge out. Sharon Osbourne claims Bruce Dickinson was
eaten up by jealousy for Ozzy Osbourne during the 2005 Ozfest.
He was jealous. And she threw eggs. Remember that? We knew all about that she threw eggs at him. Maybe it's good to recap some of this stuff, you know. And thank God Blabbermouth will do it. That's why I go to that website, is they'll have all those little bits and pieces in there for us already. They've done the the heavy lifting for us, people. But she's going to get into it. The Iron Maiden singer was involved in a verbal battle with Ozzy's wife and manager nearly 2 decades ago when his band was pelted with eggs. Didn't I just say that? Lighters and ice during the final performance of its headlining performance on the 2005 Ozfest tour. I don't know a damn person's going to throw an egg, a lighter, or anything else at Iron Maiden. And you damn well ain't going to do it if Sharon Osbourne's going,
"Here, throw this at them, please."
It's like, I'm here to see Iron Maiden. Sharon reportedly ordered interference with Maiden's PA system, delayed the stage entrance of the band's mascot Eddie, and even encouraged the crowd to throw bottles at Dickinson. And that's the Ozfest, Sharon. You know, the one that you have the lawyers that pay for? Because she took offense to remarks she said the singer made concerning the quality of the tour's sound system and criticism he made about Ozzy. Among the comments she objected to was Dickinson telling fans during Maiden's set that they would never see his band featured in a reality show. Presumably a reference to the MTV series The Osbournes and Battle for Ozfest. Boy, that was something else, wasn't it? I forgot about that. Battle for Ozfest, where you had kind of a battle of the bands to see who was going to open up on stage 3 by the coffee vendors. I always loved those shows, you know, these festival shows. And they go, we put all the locals on there and stuff. It's like, no, you don't. It's like the Warped Tour. We played the Warped Tour a couple times. What they do is they have the first stage, they have the second stage, then they have the fucking Hot Topic stage, and then you're over there by the urinals on it's like a flatbed that they open up. So it's like a flatbed of a trailer, and they just kind of roll the sides down and go, plug in and go. But anyways, let's see what this is. When Billboard recently interviewed Sharon and Ozzy as part of an oral history of Ozfest, Sharon stated about her issues with Maiden,
"It was just the singer. The other guys in the band are great people. No people at all. No problem at all. But when you've got a singer that is so eaten up with jealousy for the headliner, it never goes well."
Ozzy said, "I'm with Sharon. Oh, Sharon, he would go on stage and turn to the audience and say bad things. Be disrespectful. I didn't condone the fucking lights and all this. If you don't want the gig, just say I don't want the gig. But it's pretty fucking stupid if you ask me, Sharon. It really is. The gig and all, you do complain about it." I don't know what the hell I just said there. But it's pretty fucking stupid, you know, Sharon. You accept the gig, and all you do is complain about it. Oh, Sharon. We got any turkey left in the refrigerator? I want to make a sandwich. Sharon added,
"I just kept saying, let him do it. Let him do it. He'll get it. And on the last day, he bleedin' bloody did."
During Maiden's final show of the tour, when audience members began hurling eggs at and other debris at the stage, who's going to get rid of a good lighter either?
You throwing eggs? You throwing fucking lighters? You throwing ice? Yeah, throw all the ice you want, but don't get rid of a good lighter. Dickinson addressed the crowd. You may have noticed a few wise asses that decided that we'd go down to the supermarket and buy a few fucking eggs and start throwing them at us down in front. I guess they thought it would be funny. Well, this is an English fucking flag, and these colors do not fucking run from you asswipes. He's laying a little butter on there, isn't he? Sharon told Billboard, I have been having cancer treatments. Oh, and all the nurses that I have met over the years and chemo came to the show, and they said, can we do anything for you, sweet Sharon? And I'm like, yes, you bleeding black, you can. I loaded them up with cans of bean soup, vegetable eggs, and I said, pelt the singer. And the nurses are going to be just spot on, right? So you're talking about how all the rest of the guys are great guys, and then someone gets a can of beans, you know, Dave Murray gets a can of beans to the face because your nurses can't throw very well? I said, pelt the singer. And that's what they did. It was like, you want to talk? You think you're clever? Well, watch this, buddy boy. You're going to get covered in tomato soup in L.A. The can will not pop open. I'm telling you that right now. You're not going to tell me, unless you buy one of those kind of, microwavable kinds of tomato soups, you're going to hurt somebody, Sharon. If I was them, I would have said, I hope it hits me. I'm suing her. Then I'll pay those nurses off. I'll tell them, hey, you come to court and you say exactly the truth, nothing but the truth, the whole truth, so help you God, that she gave you the cans of tomato soup to throw at us. You're getting money. I just thought, you take the money to be on this tour, and you disrespected the namesake of the tour. You disrespected him by knocking him every night to his fans. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's not in the spirit of what we do. Well, what do they say? One bad thing doesn't deserve another? What's the saying? You can get in the comments and tell me what the saying is. But just because he's being a ding-dong doesn't mean you go, I'll do you one better. Let's get vegetable soup to throw. Ozzy chimed in. If you feel that bad about the tour, fucking leave. Back in November 2022, when Consequence interviewed Ozzy, the site asked the metal icon if he felt he was underrated as a singer compared to other legendary vocalists like Dickinson. That's Bruce Dickinson, Rob, the metal god Halford, and the late Ronnie James Dio, and he better damn not say a damn bad word about Ronnie. Oh, Bruce Dickinson is a great singer. And there he goes. There's Ozzy being a sweetheart. But as a person, I've worked with him, and he's not very nice. Now, Ronnie James Dio is no longer alive. He was a great singer. There you go. Good job, Ozzy. I didn't really know him so well. I'm not one of those guys who says many things about people. The truth is the truth. I met Ronnie James Dio a couple of times. He took me Black Sabbath gig. But at the same time, I can't complain because I did a great job on my own with Black Sabbath. And he did. And they both did. But I don't sing for a judge. I sing for me fans. If me fans don't buy me music. Is that more Beatles when they say me? If me fans don't buy me music, that would tell me my singing isn't any good anymore. But they're still buying me records. I'm my own worst critic. I don't rate myself more than Ronnie James Dio or Bruce Dickie. That's not my gig. I don't care. I have fun doing what I do. My goal is to turn my fucking audience on. Give them raging boners. He didn't say that. And that's what I try to do. I'm not interested. If someone thinks that I'm a fucking joke, that's fine. That's their bleeding bloody opinion.
Sharon, who was interviewed for the same Consequence cover story, was far more scathing in her remarks, saying,
Bruce Dickinson is a fucking prick. Well, no, he's not a prick, because a prick's nice. Ozzy's got a nice prick on him, don't you, Ozzy? Oh, Sharon, you're so boy. He's a fucking asshole, because the situation is he was on tour called Ozfest, and Ozzy Osbourne was paying him every night to perform. He accepted the gig. He knew what he was doing. He accepted the gig, and every night he would go on stage and say bad things about Ozzy.
Now that's not right. If that is in fact the case, that's not right, because he's literally egging him on. If you're going out every night of that tour, Bruce, and you're saying rude things or kind of snarky things about them right before they go on stage, that's rude. Oscar's going to pop in on this one probably. Working on that book, that Bruce Dickinson book. And so I heard about 20 people in the audience, and a lot of them were nurses from Cedars-Sinai, because I had cancer at the time. Okay, we're over that. She handed them the tomato soup, and they gave him a good smacking. And that's Bruce Dickinson. Oh, look at that. He's standing right behind his own pinball machine. And when he went into Stein Brothers or whatever, those creators of the pinball machine, he says, perhaps I can work with you independently, because I'd like to make me own pinball machine aside from the Iron Maiden model, and it will be about the Mandrake Project, which is my solo record. He looks familiar. He looks like a guy that I know. I mean, the way he's falling apart, looking. Chris Jericho, look at him right there. You know what he's belting out? You see that? He's got his arms in the air, and they're singing one of his hot rockin' tunes, and he's fully involved in it because they're singing back to him. And he says, I don't need to put this microphone up to my lips because my fans are singing my song back to me. Chris Jericho. We had to work twice as hard to get people's respect with Fozzy. And he's not lying, because, he's a wrestler. So when he starts doing music, people are going, whatever. Maybe some people are still saying whatever, but he's still got to work twice as hard. Now, that being said, he does have inroads. So he didn't have to work twice as hard as, say, some kind of little thrash band or something that's trying to cut their teeth and go out on the road and live in a small van with some stinky guys for 3 months at a time. Not that kind of a hard road, because he was already... Chris Jericho, you got a band? Dude, I'll sign you right now. So perhaps he's talking about the respect received and earned by his peers in the rock biz. And I wonder what people like Undertaker would think of his music. Jericho has known what he wanted out of life since he was a teenager, to be pro wrestler and to be in a rock and roll band. Most of his high school friends felt that he lacked the tools necessary to get into either. But Chris believed in himself, with the wise words of Master Yoda echoing through his head.
Do or do not. There is no try, Mr. Jericho.
Well, that just makes sense. The Fozzy name, right? Because Yoda's a puppet, and Fozzy's a puppet on the Muppets. He made it happen. As a result, Chris has spent a lifetime doing instead of merely trying, and managing to achieve his dreams while learning dozens of invaluable lessons along the way. Oh, Neil Brennan, that's the guy from Chappelle's Show and stuff, isn't it? Speaking to Neil Brennan of the Blocks podcast, I don't know what that means, about his decision to launch Fozzy 25 years ago. And you remember last week, Rich Ward just says Chris Jericho's an apex predator. He's a go-getter. He's a stuff. So maybe they'll mention it. I've been playing in rock and roll bands since I was 14 years old. This is not something I just woke up one day and went, hey, I'm going to get into a band. And another block in the music world
And another block in the music world was trying to convince people this wasn't just a vanity project. And also, too, I experienced it with wrestling. People saying, oh, you're too small. I experienced it with Fozzy. You can't sing. You're a wrestler. It's like, why? Why does that have to do, what does that have to do with anything? Oh, look at it. Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson is an airline pilot. And it's like saying, well, you can't be an airline pilot because you're a singer. Or, well, I think there's a difference between a freaking 747 pilot and a wrestler, isn't there? And it's like saying, well, you can't be an airline pilot because you're a singer. Or you can't be a singer because you're an airline pilot. It makes no fucking sense. You can either do it or you can't. So we had to work twice as hard to get people's respect. So that's it. Foot was in the door, tour bus rolling down the road, gigs galore, but it was the respect that they were after. With Fozzy, he got to get that respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to Fozzy. But now we just had our 6th top 10 hit. And a gold record and world tours and all this other stuff. So you just got to stay with it. And if you know it's going to work, don't listen to people who tell you you can't do something. Because everybody, not everybody, but the majority of people who don't understand something will just say you can't do it. And don't buy into it. I 100% agree with that. If you have a passion, if you have a dream of doing something, all it takes is the motivation to do it. It takes you getting focused and doing it. I know I need to do this, do it. Simple. Not simple, hard, but commitment. Chris Jericho, he continues here. He says, I've written a bunch of books. But the 4th book I wrote was called No is a 4-letter word. And what I meant by that was people throw around no as a fail-safe. It's like a curse word. It's like a swear word. Hey, can I do this? No. Why? Well, it'll never work. What do you mean it'll never work? Let's figure out a way that we can make it work. I'm digging it. I got you. I'm feeling it. Don't just say no for no reason. And I find that's another good kind of model for my life. Is don't tell me why something won't work. Let's figure out a way to make it work. This guy, Chris Jericho, fucking. You know, they say a lot of them wrestlers are stupid. He is not a stupid person. Let's figure out a way to make it work. Don't tell me why it won't work. Let's figure out a way to make it work. That's the kind of talk that fixes a hole in a sinking ship. Oh, can't do it. We're going to die. No, let's not do that. Let's figure it out, right? Because there's always a way. Always. Maybe he's a motivational in his songs. Spotlight might be a... Fozzy's latest standalone single, Spotlight, was released last October via Madison Records, The Orchard. The track was helmed by Fozzy's longtime producer. We talked about all this. Fozzy's latest album, Boombox, came out in May 2022 and featured I Still Burn. You got to get the right lotions, buddy. You got to get the right lotion for that. If you still burn, it's not, you got to get a higher octane on that, okay? Which has more than 3 million views on YouTube. It also includes the top 10 singles, Nowhere to Run, and Sing. Sorry. As previously reported, Fozzy will embark on a 25th, guys, get your pencils. Get your pencils out. Get these dates ready to go. I'll wait a minute. I'll have a drink. As previously reported, Fozzy will embark on a 25th anniversary tour this fall. The trek will start October 3rd. Get your pencil at Mad Life Studio in Woodstock, Georgia, and run through October 21st. It's a short tour. in Cleveland, Ohio. Support on the tour will come from the Nocturnal Affair and Closure, but it's with a Z. That strikes me as we want to play kind of mid-level venue. We want to make the money ourselves, please, and let's get some guys we can say, we'll kick you $500 and Closure, you get 3 every night. Sound good? All you got to do is just get that merch, bro. And then the club will, remember, the club will take half the sales of that, too. In the spring of 2023, Fozzy spent time on the road with Ugly Kid Joe. Wow, they're doing things as part of the latter band's first tour of the United States in 27 years. So I just answered my question. Very quickly, Timu, he's gonna say that Marty Friedman, he's gonna talk a little bit about Marty Friedman. Of course, Timu Montasari is the guitar player that took over for Kiko Loureiro in Megadeth, and Marty Friedman is a former guitar player. And Timu says that Marty Friedman has always been up there. He's a guitarist up there for me. He's up there for me. In a new interview with George Ferretz of Spain's Gotia Media, Megadeth guitarist Timu Montasari discussed his musical influences. Asked if Marty Friedman is the former Megadeth guitarist he is most fond of. You want to say Chris Poland in there? You can if you want. It seems to be the case with most people. So George Fretes, he say, is Marty Friedman is the former Megadeth guitarist? Is he the most fond of? You're most fond of? As seems to be the case with most people. Timu says, yes, I would start Marty Friedman as well. I would say Marty Friedman as well. I would say that. I mean, I've studied a lot of guitars over the years. Not only the Megadeth guitarists, but Marty has been always one of the guitarists up there for me. And of course, the kind of the usual suspects like a Steve Vai. Come on, guy, get the fuck out of here. Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. What about John 5? No, Shane. Oh, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and John Pratucci. And he's the guy from Dream Theater. And those guys I kind of grew up with as well. A lot of Finnish power metal scene. And then a lot of the kind of more fusion-y stuff as well. Like Greg Howe and Guthrie Govan. Now, Greg Howe, I know that name. Guthrie Govan. Guthrie Govan has been one of my favorites for a long time. So kind of diverse range of different players. And then, the more you learn, you kind of tend to start to find these similarities and start to see like, okay, this guy actually got this thing from this guy. Oh. You're seeing where the guy gets the stuff from the other guys. And then I go back to the Steve Vai and I say, where is he getting his stuff? And then I realize it's a guitar player from the 1960s. He says, hey, this is where he's getting his stuff. And then I go back to the guy from the 1960s. I say, where's this guy getting his stuff? He's getting it from the 50s guy, Elvis Presley. Kind of seeing the kind of history of the styles developing. So that's really interesting for me. Montasari stepped in last September for Megadeth's longtime axeman Kiko Loureiro, who announced earlier that month that he would sit out the next leg of the Megadeth Crush the World tour in order to stay home with his family, his children back in Finland. It was later revealed that the 37-year-old Finnish musician would continue to play guitar for Megadeth for the foreseeable future, with Loureiro seemingly have no plans to return. Montasari was born in Tampere, Finland. So my accent's not... Okay, guys, let's just cut the bullshit. My accents aren't good. They're not authentic, okay? I'm sorry. I'm Montasari. Born in Tampere, Finland, and began playing guitar at the age of 12. They all start at 12, don't they? Ask your buddy right now. Ask your buddy, your closest friend that you know that's always fucking sitting on the guitar. He's got the knob turned up way too loud, the practice amp turned up way too loud,
and he's doing them damn scales over and over and over and over again, and you just want 5 minutes of peace and quiet, ask him, when did you start playing guitar? Every one of them says 12. I think that it was, well, it depends on when you were born, I guess, because I would say it was Booger Presley from Revenge of the Nerds that got everybody interested in guitar, but that's just me. Earlier this month, Montessori was asked by the Hourglass guitarist Rudy Messiah what it has been like to perform material originally recorded by previous Megadeth guitarists Chris Poland, Jeff Young, Marty Friedman, Chris Broderick, Kiko Loureiro. He said, I'm very relaxed about it. I mean, of course, it feels great to be in a band that you have been a fan of and to get to play the solos of these guys that you've looked up to for oh so many years. So that just feels really great. And I don't feel like there's any limit to my creativity here. And we've been talking about coming up with riffs ideas for new Megadeth music. And Davey, I call him Davey Mustaine. We're good friends now. Me and Davey, we wrestle. We do the jiu-jitsu together sometimes with the lights off. It's fun. We're waiting for the coach to show up. And we say, let's put our gis on and tussle a little bit. He's been very open about us. The band guys offering ideas as well. So he's saying it's fine. Dave Mustaine has been very open about us, the band guys, offering ideas as well. He's not going to hog all the ideas and say, even if my ideas are shit, we're going to use them. You know, he's just saying, he's open to the idea. I come in, I got a great riff, and then Dave says, you know, I think that's a pretty good riff. And so far, I have had my hands full learning the back catalog, which we're still doing. We're adding more songs as go along. So that has been a lot of fun. We're always working in the jam rooms, backstage, and putting more songs to the set list that maybe the guys even haven't played in 10 or 15 years. I'd like them to do 502. Have they been doing that song from... Full day, I'm out of gas, full throttle, gonna break some ass. Yeah, my go-to record, man, I'll tell you every time, and I don't know if it was just because that's the first time that I saw Megadeth live, was So Far So Good So What. They opened for Ronnie James Dio on the Dream Evil tour. Can you dig it, baby? All the fools sailed away and all of that. Ronnie James Dio fought a spider and some kind of a mechanical alien on stage. And I'm a little guy. I'm a little guy. And Megadeth started their show with a chopper sound. And then they had the light going through the crowd and stuff. And this story would be great if they opened with creep into my own house, but I don't remember. But what I do remember is seeing that bright red hair, and I'm weaseling my way up to the front, and I see him, and he's got that red hair. I said, "That's David goddamn Mustaine right there before my eyes." And then I was even triply amazed when I saw Ronnie James Dio with my eyes. And I noticed a little thing that Ronnie James Dio did, and if you've seen Ronnie live, please get in the comments and tell me what you think, but I noticed that every single time he wasn't using the mic stand, he dropped it. So it was never tightened up where it would be like, oh, look at how short he is or whatever. Like, did he have a complex about that? Pardon me. Jesus. We're always working in the jam room backstage, putting the 10 or 15 years. So it's kind of learning experience for them as well. Relearning some of the songs that they haven't played maybe ever in a long time. That is a long time. So far, we've been concentrating on that. And we added quite a lot of songs from when I stepped in. So that has been a lot of fun. I wonder if there was ever a moment where it was like Kiko was like, "No, I don't want to do that one." And now it's like, well, Timu does them all. Of course, I listened to the albums previously, but I haven't really learned them,
You know, like the songs in detail.
Timu previously talked about playing material originally recorded by some of the former Megadeth guitarists in a June 2024 interview with Finland's Chaos Sign. At the time said, there's, of course, challenges in every guitarist's parts. Different kinds of challenges, but the kind of things is good that I've been a fan of the band, and I've known the previous guitarists and their style is in some capacities already in the past. I've studied quite a bit of Marty Friedman's style and even Kiko's style before I stepped into the band. I mean, he did a fine job there, didn't he? So is that all I'm going to say about Marty Friedman? Marty Friedman's got a new book out. It's about him living in Japan. It's called Lost in Japan, with my guitar solos. That went in my nose. Dizzy Reed here. I guess he was a guy that was in Guns N' Roses, but he says he didn't want to be behind a curtain in Guns N' Roses concerts. But I'm assuming that Dizzy Reed, that's the only name I know that name from Guns N' Roses, like the Democracy record or something, wasn't it? Or was that when he had Buckethead and all that? Anywhoots. Dizzy Reed didn't want to be put behind the curtains during Guns N' Roses concerts. Someone's behind that curtain, I'll tell you right now, baby. They got a whole crew of people that said, you know, Axl said, Dizzy don't want to be behind the curtain. He says, I'll fucking be behind the curtain. How much does it pay? I'll be behind the curtain. Let's see here. In a new interview with Paltrowcast, host Darren Paltrowitz, Guns N' Roses' Dizzy Reed was asked if it's true that Brett Tuggle, known for his onstage keyboard playing for Fleetwood Mac, inspired him in his quest to not be relegated to being the offstage keyboardist for Guns N' Roses. Wait a minute. I think Dizzy Reed, he's the keyboardist. And now I'm thinking he's in like a groovy kind of a southern fried rock band that's pretty good. Am I wrong? Maybe they'll mention it. He responded, it was a fight. Let me put it that way. I think maybe some of the guys, maybe the crew, the production, I think, there was some talk about that. And I don't know. I think with Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses singer, you know, he sings that, nothing lasts forever. With Axl Rose singer support, Axl behind me, with his support, with Axl behind me, I don't understand what this means here. Axl behind me, that didn't happen. And hopefully that opened, okay, we're going to read this whole thing. I think there was some talk about that, and I don't know. I think with Axl Rose support, Axl behind me, that didn't happen. And hopefully that opened the door for other keyboard players to not be put behind the curtain. It is true, guys, that they do put the keyboardist just kind of off in some kind of... They still, maybe they just still got that kind of mindset of like early 80s where it's like, dude, get your keyboard out of here. If you weren't in a kind of new wave band, it's like, you keep that fucking keyboard out of here, dude. When Paltrowitz noted that Reed's answer implied that Tuggle rumors weren't true, Dizzy clarified, I knew that there was other guys that were behind the curtain. And I just didn't want that to happen. So, in a way, Tuggle did inspire me, I guess. 6 years ago, Dizzy spoke about the fact that he has always been treated as an important part of the Guns N' Roses live show and wasn't hidden off stage or relegated to the shadows on the side stage. He told Australia's Lock In at time, I gotta give Axl credit for all that, man. He wanted me in the band, and I think he saw that I really wanted to be part of the band. And I'm not saying that the other guys didn't want me to be part of the band, wanted me to put me behind the curtain on stage. I don't know that for sure. I can't say that for sure. There was a little bit of talk of possibly me being a little bit, my head poking out, okay? My head was poking out from behind the curtain.
But Axl, that old son of a gun, I think Axl, saw how badly I wanted it and wanted to be part of the band and wanted to add to it. And I give him all the credit for that, man. I mean, I don't see Slash or Duff saying, get that guy behind the fucking curtain. Why wouldn't you want everyone on the stage doing the thing, right? But Axl, what a great freaking guy that guy is. I give him all the credit in the world for that. And I'm happy to be, if not the first keyboard player, one of the first guys to actually be on stage, be part of the band. Nah, that's not true, guy. Unless you're just speaking of Guns N' Roses. You're the first keyboardist. But if you're saying you're the first guy to ever be on a stage with the keyboard, that's wrong. One of the first guys to actually be on stage, be a part of the band. Okay. And hopefully open the door for the other keyboard players that came after me. We added to the music what we can play. Yeah, and Axl can play the piano too. So he's probably threatening you all the time going,
You better watch your back, Dizzy, because these fingers can play.
and I think it's always important part of it. So what Dizzy's saying here is he by Axl Rose allowing him to poke his head out from behind that curtain and set up on the stage with Guns N' Roses in full display where you can see him, his legs, his head, everything. You see everything and him playing the keyboards. Dizzy's saying that he's proud and happy that maybe he opened the door, that when he left, other keyboardists were allowed to stay on that stage and not be behind the curtains. And for that, it's everything in the world. Reed is the longest surviving member of GWAR after singer Axl Rose. He joined the band as a touring member in 1990 during the Use Your Illusion era and has played with most of the original members as well in all the later editions of the group and the current reunion lineup. All right. Well, guys, this may or may not be he's a fresh looking dude. He's a fresh dude. And he's wearing a shirt that says cocaine, guys. Dizzy, if you're doing that shit, it'll make you dizzy. And don't do it no more. Stop putting cocaine in there. We got GWAR here. It's crazy because I haven't seen GWAR with this guy. What's his name? Boris? Blothar. Blothar the Berserker, this new singer guy. I've seen GWAR probably 5 times or so, and every time it's been with Dave Brockie, Odorous. So I really got to get out there. Now, they're going to be doing a bit of the song I'm Just Ken, and it is the song that Ken sings in the Barbie movie. Did you see the Barbie movie? Was it fun for you? Margot Robbie, Will Ferrell. We're going to get a little bit of this. And then we got your comments. But I'm telling you right now, if they ding it, we're going straight to the comments. Because if they try and copyright and take any lousy nickels that I make off this podcast, you won't see it. Here we go. Oh, he's licking and he's eating his buggers, that singer is. On his rubber fingers. Big rubber head, big rubber fingers. My God.
Hi, everybody!
Well, welcome, GWAR, to the first AV Undercover session in 7 years, and welcome back.
Yes!
Give that guy a lozenge.
Time to dominate again!
So what was it about this song that you wanted to make your own?
Well, you know, I'd love to say that it's our long love affair with musical theater. But unfortunately, it's my
I like him.
prurient interest in Ryan Gosling. Had my eye on him since the Mickey Mouse Club. I can't go close to Ryan, but I feel close to him anyway.
All right, well, take it away.
Been a fan of his since the Mickey Mouse Club.
Look.
Is he going to play something too? A little horn? Oh, he's going to play a little horn. Oh.
He's got a Ken doll in his, and he's put his rubber fingers on the...
I think we've dilly-dallied enough. Let's get this underway. Doesn't seem to matter what we do. Mm-hmm. We're still the band that spew.
Oh.
Too gross, too much for most. Fuck you. Boring metal. It's just all the same.
I already like this.
We'd rather entertain.
Is that Beefcake?
Then pose around and mope.
I was always bad with their names.
Like tough guys scouring.
Jizmac.
We're just one. We are shock rock superstars. Yes, we are.
Okay, they just changed it to GWAR.
Here's to take a piss on sacrosanctity. We're just GWAR. We'll trash your bar. We'll eat your car. Fuck gatekeeper creeps.
Well, I don't know about you, but that was amazing. Let's get on to the best part of the podcast. That's right, it's your comments. I have pre-checked. There are 5 comments. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 comments, okay? Now there's the one that but 99. I already got it from another one, okay? But I cannot give you the heart. I cannot respond to you, even though someone has responded. Should we see what this is? Who do you think that's going to be? That says, and are they going to say, this is a no request zone? Mike Buchanan coming in there. You should take this comment and paste it on any other video Shane has done. He said in this video that he does not do requests on the Jive Talkin videos. There he is. Good job, buddy. Yeah, here we go. Mike Buchanan, we got his stuff here, and he's got a truckload. So let's get on it. Opening song, as usual, is Grammy worthy. However, Gene just came out with a statement that he hates that song. Oh yeah, I remember that. Like he hates playing it or something. I don't like it, even though it's the biggest fucking song. Sorry, this is going to be a long one, Mike Buchanan says. Let's begin with the, like we always do, movies that are bad, but we love them anyways, TBD. No, I will not forget. Okay, I probably will. TBD? Sorry in advance, but seriously, I have 2 that I'm debating on. One old one released within the past few years. We got a choice between The Magic Sword, 1962, and Kung Fu and Titties, 2013. I know which one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, that is the dilemma for sure. If you happen to read this before Wednesday, leave a comment on which one I should do a review on. Needn't worry, I will review the other movie the following week. Well, since no one voted on which of these movies, now they know. Now maybe people can swing by and vote if you're doing that more. Well, since no one voted on which of these movies I was going to review this week, I get to choose. And you all asked for it. Kung Fu and Titties it is then. Good job. After seeing The Karate Kid back in the day, like all the other kids, I wanted to take karate classes. My parents, who were against violence, made me take Aikido classes instead. For 2 months, we practiced falling down without getting hurt, which became quite useful years later when I learned about alcohol. But that's another story. Speaking of dimly remembered events, take a half-remembered viewing of Forbidden Zone for the script, toss in some actors, strippers, and a ranch, and you end up with this film. Richard Titties, yes, that's his name, has to save his girlfriend from the king with an aluminum foil crown. This is damn near porno territory, isn't it? Zephros. He gets the help of a guy in a gorilla suit, an Indian, and a group of angry Eastern Europeans. This is along the way. We have a guy in a French maid outfit, SCA gear, Rain Brown. Who's Rain Brown? And lots of topless women. Are you with me so far? Question mark.
This movie is very, very stupid. But the thing about it is, it was never dull. Sure, there are fart jokes. There's one in this podcast. A lot of shots inside a stable. But the screenplay, I know what they're doing in there in a stable. But the screenplay keeps throwing new stuff out, and there's a lot of creativity on display. It also feels like everyone was having a good time, and it's contagious. It's also professionally made and always in focus and lit. So there's that. Sometimes movie titles don't overpromise. Warning. It's a warning for you. Kung Fu and Titties contains Kung Fu and Titties. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and press play. Mike Buchanan on the topics of the day of the last week. Got something here on Fozzy and Rich Ward. Going to have to agree to disagree with Rich Ward about Fozzy being the greatest frontman in rock and roll history. You all probably know my feeling on Fozzy, and yes, I have actually seen the band live. Why you ask if I don't like them? Why you ask if I don't like them? Well, I won free tickets. You don't give up free concert no matter what. 100%. And as far as the VIP package goes, first, it's not for me. I've never been into the meeting of bands. But if fans are willing to fork out hundreds of dollars, why shouldn't bands try and make some more money? They certainly are not making money from record sales. And that's a good point. You know, it's another way to make a little extra coin. You know, and it is highway robbery what they're getting paid on streaming services, because I think it's 1/16 of a penny per play. You know, so that's, you know, do the math on that. Now, granted, bands like Metallica could probably buy a car every single day. They could all each go just off the plays and revenue that comes in. They could all four of them buy cars every single day of the week, but most bands don't. Maybe there's a tier thing. I don't know. No, there shouldn't be a tier thing. You just pay the damn fucking money to them. More money. Let's see here. You don't give up the free time. The VIP package, not for me. Mike Buchanan on Kerry King. Still upset that Kerry King missed the mark by not naming his new band Kingslayer, which you came up with. And that's just a great name. But no fan has any idea what Kerry is really like in real life. Only those that know him really know the real Kerry King. Mike Buchanan on Blackie Lawless. Again, Blackie is looking like my grandma who's just disappointed in what I just did. Yeah. Maybe he needs to go back into the studio and create that big dirty stinky. I just know what he's going to record is going to be more of the same we've had in the past few albums. Mike Buchanan says, not being that much into Vixen, I have no real horse in the race on this one. I looked up just because you asked who the new Vixen singer is. Her name is Rosa Larchuita. I'm sure there's a video of her performance on YouTube by now. Mike Buchanan says, why does Elwood, this is Elwood Francis of ZZ Top, why does Elwood look like a homeless man picked up a bass and just wandered onto the stage of a ZZ Top concert? He's got some dust on him, for sure. I've had the pleasure of seeing ZZ Top live twice. Once way back in time during the Eliminator tour. That would have been the time to see him. And then I happened to see them months before Dusty passed in 2021. Eliminator would have been the time. Mike Buchanan says, okay, you all know me as the guy who loves bad B movies. I also have another passion, Western movies, TV shows. I can't get enough of them. Probably because I would sit on my grandpa's lap and watch the Saturday afternoon Western on TV. Fucking grandpas love them Westerns. That makes the grandsons like the Westerns. every time I visited him. I am very excited to see the movie that James will be in. That's called The Thicket. He's speaking of James Hetfield. He's the lead singer of Metallica, and he's going to be in a movie called The Thicket. And he's the sheriff in that, and he better have a good part. Now it's time. Your copy and paste jokes of the week from episode 136 responded to forgetting jokes from episode 135. Oh my heavens. What did the sushi say to the bee? Wasabi. I went to a seafood disco last week and pulled a muscle. I used to be in a band called The Hinges before we collaborated with the Handles to form the Doors. What's part tree and part pig? A porcupine. What color is the wind? Blue. Huh? Okay, blue. I called the incontinence hotline. They asked me if I could hold on. Oof. Me. Alexa, what's the weather this weekend? Alexa, doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere. Does that sound like Alexa? I told my son he shouldn't listen to losers. Now he won't talk to me. My neighbor just banged on the wall at 2:20 a.m. Can you believe that? Lucky I was still up playing music. He banged and shouted, "Can we have a little respect, please?" So I shouted back, "I'm not a big fan of Aretha Franklin. But okay, this one's for you. R-E-S-B-C-T, I know what it means to me." It's the only part you ever know of that song. What you want, is that what he said? Baby, I got it, whoop, what you need. I was just about to say, it's funny that no one knows the words to that song other than that part, and then I sang the words perfectly. And finally, a cable repairman on the street today asked me if I knew what time it was. I told him it was between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's a good one. There's your heart, my friend. Miss Althea coming in, and she's got her stuff here. And you can see it says show less because I double-checked before we got going. I think Cool Dude 1919 is Shane, isn't it? Let's take a look down here and see. Yeah. Short Shane Cordwainer. We did his video, his Ace Frehley video. Let's get into this. Miss Althea saying the dumbstruck fool says she's talking Rich Ward. Fozzy has been around for a quarter of a century, ? Wow. Okay. The paid meet and greet VIP topic is somewhat of a gray area, especially for yet another of a certain age fan like me, who for years met bands or tried to meet bands the old-fashioned way by hanging out around the tour bus or the hotel. Den and I both admit to investing in paid meet and greets in more recent years, and thankfully we have never had a bad experience. The artists we patronize actually took time to socialize with the fans, etc., and made it worthwhile. It is unfortunate that there are one too many horror stories out there of outrageously priced packages that end up being an assembly line. Yeah. And the artists are rude or simply disengaged. Here's the thing that I don't like about the We Rock Out. It's kind of like a mini concert that we do. That's not engaging. You're not, if people are going to pay to go back there, I want to know your favorite fucking foods. I want to have a bottle of water with you and chat with you. I don't want to see you rock out before I go see you rock out. I think that's a rip. But someone might say you're horse shit. I love that. It is unacceptable just on principle, where she's talking about being disengaged. It is unacceptable just on principle. Some, maybe even most fans have to do things like give up an entire paycheck, compromise a car payment, a mortgage payment, or otherwise do some degree of creative budgeting to so much as to be in the same room with someone they idolize when they feel there is no other option, no other way to accomplish that. So, listen up, rockers. Come on, be nice, and extend some common courtesy. Meeting you is everything to a fan, regardless of whether or not they paid to do so. Do not treat them like they are wasting your time, like Grandma Lawless was doing over there, with her arms crossed. Meeting you is everything, fans, regardless of whatever they paid to do. Do not treat them like they are wasting your time when you are wasting theirs by acting like a jerk. And this modern age of social media, can you literally afford to? That's a good point because, man, people won't even get out of the room with you before they TikTok and go, I was just in there with so-and-so and he was a dick. It puts you on your best behavior. Why can't people be on their best behavior? Why do you have to be fucking monsters? Just be kind. Miss Althea on Blackie Lawless. Blah, 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 blah. Miss Althea on Lorraine Lewis. I honestly don't know what song you were riffing on. She's waiting for the big one. I thought that was Lorraine Lewis. Hold on. Because I think she got the band, it's ticking in my brain. I honestly don't know what song you were riffing on or who performs it, but Lorraine was formerly with Femme Fatale. She had briefly reformed Femme Fatale in the mid-2000s as an all-female band with members of the Iron Maidens, which included Nita Strauss. Unfortunately, the venture did not last. Then she later landed the gig with Vixen. Now that song, You'll Never Get Out of This Love Alive. Oh, is that Bitch? I want to say that's Bitch or whatever they changed their name to. You ain't going nowhere, so don't even try. Miss Althea says, Den has known her for years. Lorraine Lewis? Then she landed the gig for Vixen. Den has known her for years and are both equally as shocked about her dismissal from Vixen, as well as a little confused, especially since she just recorded new music with him. You're kidding. She is an amazing performer and very gracious person. And she's hanging with you in the VIP, Lorraine Lewis. She's hanging with you all night. She's saying, you know what? Why don't you and Den get up on stage with us? And you can sing Waiting for the Big One. We'll do one of my old hits from Femme Fatale. You can sing along. And I'm not going to even say another word than that. We wish her all the best with whatever comes her way next. Miss Althea on James Hetfield. Why do I have a feeling he would be great at comedy? Yeah. Would love to see him as a teacher in a reboot of some 1980s high school fodder, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's like, all right, kids, settle down now, settle down. Miss Althea says, 80s rock mags, topic revisited. Yes, there was the band Cream, which featured Eric Clapton, and I do believe they were on the cover of Cream, C-R-E-E-M magazine at least once. If the whole band wasn't, then Clapton certainly was. And one more publication I remembered is Metal Maniacs. I don't know that I ever got that one. It was available, which was a sister magazine to Metal Edge, and even Metal Edge was kind of, you had to look for them, you know. Circus, Hip Parader, I want to say Rip was more of a kind of a mail order, but definitely Circus and Hip Parader and Kerrang! I could get my hands on every month. And remember, Metal Maniacs, which was a sister magazine to Metal Edge and focused more on thrash and heavier forms of the genre. I bet you could go on eBay right now and someone's got every issue of Metal Edge or something like that you could buy. That would be kind of wasteful spending, but well worth it, because I could just sit there and rip through every one of them old magazines and just go, oh, yeah, like it's happening all over again. There you go, Miss Althea. There's your heart. And then we got Shane right here, and he's cool dude, 1992. He's got that right there in his tag. You can't get that. If you're looking for cool dude, 1992, it's taken. It says Tracky, he's talking about Blackie Lawless. Tracky booted all the original members that made those classic albums. He isn't going to make anything as good as those with the unknown session player lip sync lineup. He's got a very good point. Is you cannot not have all of those players that played on those great records and say we must make stuff that is better than those records and not have those people, right? Is that impossible? He could probably make some good records, but it's not going to be Wasp sounding with new session players because he's going to say, I get to do all the work. I get to do it all. Okay, quick outro this time here. We're going to get right to it because nice Christmas one. Boy, aren't you excited for when we finally get to a Christmas one and I can use that? I have to go to the bathroom, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're getting out of here. Got your jive talking, squawking, talking, have a good time rocking, rocking. Yeah. It's like Paul Schaefer, David Letterman.